Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Welcome back to All-Star Buzz. Thank you for joining us. Let's dive right in. Bill Maher is back, delivering his signature brand of no-holds-barred commentary. This time, his target is none other than Whoopi Goldberg. Known for her often divisive takes on The View, Goldberg stepped into the ring with Maher, and the outcome was nothing short of a rhetorical beatdown. Goldberg's recent comments, riddled with contradictions and misdirected arguments, caught Maher's attention like a moth to a flame.
To indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
And if there's one thing Maher doesn't tolerate, it's what he calls performative wokeness. What followed was a takedown so incisive that it left Goldberg scrambling to defend herself. This isn't the first time Maher has crossed swords with The View. Earlier clashes with Sunny Hostin set the stage for Goldberg's apparent attempt to even the score. However, instead of presenting a cogent counterargument, Goldberg's approach felt more like throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, a tactic Maher expertly dismantled. Goldberg took issue with Maher's previous statements about Black Americans wanting better jobs, a stronger economy, and responsible policing, points Maher framed as straightforward and universally important. Yet Goldberg veered off course, invoking unrelated political agendas and promoting ideas that Maher quickly labeled as disjointed and unproductive. She's flipping through the woke playbook like it's a manual for winning debates, Maher quipped with his characteristic smirk. But here's the thing. When your playbook is built on straw men and misdirection, it's only a matter of time before it collapses. Maher's critique didn't stop with Goldberg's comments. He broadened his analysis to The View as a whole, describing it as the political talk show equivalent of a train wreck, painful to watch but impossible to look away from.
Any matters of politics or what's right or wrong, the one thing I know for sure about America is this. It's run by mean girls. Mean girls in the press and in politics and in life, and when they smell blood in the water, the lust to finish off a vulnerable person will never be denied.
He argued that the show thrives on controversy, but often sacrifices nuance for sensationalism. The ongoing friction between Bill Maher and the hosts of The View has become a cultural spectacle, drawing both criticism and applause from audiences across the political spectrum. For Maher, this latest exchange with Whoopi Goldberg wasn't just about one person's flawed argument. It was a broader indictment of what he sees as a trend toward ideological rigidity and performative outrage. What's clear is that this clash is far from over. With Goldberg standing firm on her convictions and Maher refusing to pull punches, their ongoing feud continues to be the talk of the town. Whether you see it as a much-needed cultural critique or just another round of political theater, one thing is certain. Bill Maher versus Whoopi Goldberg is a showdown no one can ignore. Remember when Charlemagne the God made his daring appearance on The View? Watching him navigate the chaos felt like witnessing someone walk a tightrope over a pit of lions. After what unfolded, you couldn't blame him for wondering if he had just visited an alternate dimension. Here's the backdrop. President Joe Biden, the self-proclaimed champion of justice, stirred controversy by pardoning his son, Hunter Biden, after Hunter was found guilty of corruption and related charges. The irony practically writes itself. A president who boldly declares, "No one is above the law," suddenly becomes the poster child for family-first immunity. Hunter's guilt wasn't just evident, it was glaring, like a spotlight on a stage. Yet accountability, it seems, didn't RSVP to the Biden family meeting. Charlemagne didn't hesitate to point out the hypocrisy. He argued that if the woke mantra insists on accountability for everyone, that principle should apply universally. Seems reasonable, right? Well, not to Whoopi Goldberg, who managed to twist herself into logical knots to defend Biden's actions. Cue the latest installment of Whoopi's Whoppers. where she declared with a straight face that President Biden didn't lie when he said no one is above the law. Yes, Whoopi, because the mountain of evidence, video clips, sound bites, and perhaps even ancient hieroglyphs proves otherwise. Watching her attempt to spin this narrative was like witnessing someone insist the ocean isn't wet while standing knee-deep in it. Even Charlemagne looked visibly taken aback, his expression practically screaming, "Did she really just say that?" But Whoopi wasn't done. She went on to suggest that maybe Biden changed his mind because he was tired of everyone getting over on him, as if pardoning Hunter was some bold act of self-care. Charlemagne, normally quick with a retort, could only sit there stunned into silence. The issue with woke logic, as Bill Maher has frequently pointed out, is its glaring double standard. When someone outside their bubble missteps, it's a full-blown outrage machine. But when it's one of their own, the moral compass mysteriously malfunctions, and accountability becomes a distant echo. Whoopi and her crew might have thought they could spin their way out of trouble while Charlemagne was on the set. But when Bill Maher caught wind of their antics, he made it clear. Hold my beer. What followed was one of the most incisive takedowns in recent memory, a verbal dissection so sharp it left Goldberg's arguments in tatters and the woke mob scrambling for damage control. He argued that the show thrives on controversy, but the woke mob sacrifices self-appointed arbiters of truth and morality. The ongoing friction between Bill Maher and the hosts of The View has become Hunter Biden's guilt was undeniable, drawing both criticism and applause from audiences power across the political spectrum. Conveniently evaporated. This latest exchange with Whoopi Goldberg, if anyone else just about one person's flawed argument, the mob would be out for blood. It was a broader indictment when it's one of their own, as a trend suddenly ideological rigidity and malleable concept. What's clear absolutely is that right to call this out for the farce it is. With Goldberg standing firm on her convictions, it's about a system that Maher refusing to favor the elite while their ongoing feud continues to be the talk of everyone else. Whether you see it as a isn't whether Maher's takedown was just another round of political theater, but one thing is certain: longer Americans Bill Maher versus Whoopi Goldberg is a showdown no one can ignore. Doesn't stop Remember when Charlemagne the God pointed out the complicity of the mainstream media, watching him navigate the chaos felt like witnessing how media outlets worked overtime to bury Hunter Biden's scandal. After what unfolded, they dismissed it as blame him for wondering if he had just visited an overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Here's the backdrop: their goal wasn't President Joe Biden, the self-proclaimed to protect President Biden and derail Donald Trump's re-election campaign. Hunter Biden's speech took a back seat was found guilty of corruption and related charges. And then there's irony practically writes itself, jumping right into defending indefensible declares. No one is above the law. The chorus, suddenly brushing off the allegations with a mix of indifference and disdain. Hunter's guilt wasn't just evident. Maher wasn't about to let her off the hook. Like a spotlight on a stage, her excuses piece by piece, accountability, leaving her arguments, didn't and her credibility, the Biden family exposed for all Charlemagne to see. Didn't hesitate Maher's to point out the hypocrisy. Of The View wasn't just about calling out what the woke mantra was about exposing accountability for everyone of the show that itself. Principle should apply universally. Especially Goldberg seems have turned the program into a platform for ideological Whoopi Goldberg, who managed to twist herself into logical knots to defend Biden's actions with scorn and ridicule. The latest installment of Whoopi's dismissive attitude, where she declared with a straight face that subtle wave Biden of the hand here when he said no one is above the law. But yes, Maher wasn't intimidated because the mountain of evidence, their video clips, and called them out, and perhaps revealing the View for what it has become proves otherwise. Not a space for dialogue. Watching her attempt to spin this narrative was like witnessing someone insist the ocean Maher's takedown was more than just a critique. Knee deep in it. It was a reminder that intellectual honesty still has a place in public discourse. Practically screaming, even if it's increasingly hard to say that. His relentless critique of the woke mob she went on to suggest that maybe Biden exposing their brand of activism because he was tired of everyone getting over on him, bullying, as if pardoning Hunter weary of predictable one-sided narrative. Charlemagne, Maher's normally quick with retort, offer a refreshing dose of reality in a landscape dominated by groupthink. The issue with woke logic, his ability to turn absurdity on its head pointed out and reveal the contradictions beneath offers a rare glimpse of clarity their bubble missteps. Drowning in it's a full-blown outrage machine. But when it's one of their own, the moral compass mysteriously malfunctions, and accountability becomes a distant echo. Whoopi and her crew might have thought they could spin their way out of trouble while Charlemagne was on the set. But when Bill Maher caught wind of their antics, he made it clear. Hold my beer. What followed was one of the most incisive takedowns in recent memory, a verbal dissection so sharp it left Goldberg's arguments in tatters and the woke mob scrambling for damage control.